Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Today we're talking about why hybrid is the right word right now. Are you ready? Let's get started. So several years ago, we started using the word hybrid team to describe a team where some people were in the office and some people weren't. Now, as it's turned out, that's kind of become the word everyone's using, talking about hybrid teams and hybrid work, hybrid workplaces. And well, while we picked that word and have been using it, I don't think we can take credit for it being used. But what I want to tell you today is that we believe it's a better choice than we might have even realized. The best word for us to use to think about our current situation and the future of work. Here's why. So I happen to serve on the board of directors for a company called Ag Alumni Seed. And we're in the business of creating new hybrids of popcorn. In fact, we're the world's largest plant breeder for popcorn, creating the most hybrid popcorn seed of any company in the world. In other words, the seed that we produce isn't what creates the kernels you're eating, but we're one step in front of that. We're creating the seed that is then being planted, that is then creating the popcorn that you eat and enjoy. So because of that background, and because of I have some sense of what hybrid really means in the world of plants, in the world of plant breeding, I want to bring you some insight from that I think will be of great value to you as you think about a hybrid workplace. The first thing is, what we're doing is we're taking two different plants, two different varieties of popcorn, and crossing them or creating a new hybrid from the connection between the two parents. Just like we as people. But we're talking plants, and we're not talking about offspring in the same way. We're talking about a new hybrid. So we take this plant and create a new one. And here's what is for sure. New is different. Right? New is different. Awesome. But what we really are hoping for is the goal of new is better, right? So we have to keep crossing. So we cross and we test the result. We cross and we test the result. But we don't do that one at a time. We do it many times at once, hundreds of times at once, to find not just different new plants, but better new plants, which means that in the world of plant breeding, there are many tests. We're not just doing it once and saying it's different. We're saying we know it will be different. The question is, will it be better? And one other insight from the world of plant breeding, and that is there isn't just one variety of popcorn, right? Well, first of all, there's different types of popcorn. There's butterfly popcorn and there's mushroom popcorn, depending on whether you want theater or whether you want caramel corn, or whether you want white popcorn. So there's a variety of overall styles, interesting, but there's also more than one right answer. And what I mean by that is, not every field that's being planted for mushroom popcorn is exactly the same variety. There's different varieties based on different soil conditions, parts of the world, and other goals. So there's different options for better, so there's more than one right answer. So what can we do with this metaphor when we're not in the popcorn business, except the eating of popcorn business? The first thing is, as we're trying to create this new future that isn't everyone together perhaps, and isn't everyone apart perhaps, but some new hybrid, we have to focus on better and not just new. It's going to be different, but the question is, we want to figure out what will be better. And we don't have necessarily 1,000 tests that we can make, right? So we want to focus on better and not just new or different. And then secondly, we need to determine what better is. So just like we're doing in testing, in the popcorn business, we're trying to figure out which varieties what are we trying to create? Are we trying to create yield? Are we trying to create volume? Are we trying to create stock strength? What are the factors that create better for us? And we must do that in our workplaces. Determine what better means to us in our workplace, in our work, with our teams in our locales, right? Now, the next thing, I'm guessing you're going to figure this out, that I'm going to say, we need to know that it takes testing. In other words, you're going to come up with a plan. It's unlikely to be perfect. It's very likely to be different. It might not be better or as better as you're hoping for. I really believe that as we move into a future of work, we can create something that's better, but we must determine what better is, and we must recognize that we won't necessarily get it right on the first try, and that's okay. And one of the ways that we can speed up that testing, and one of the ways that we can make sure that we're creating the right better, is to involve everyone. This isn't an exercise to be done at a retreat center with everyone 6 feet apart. This is not an exercise to be done in the mind of the senior leader. This is something that we can figure out together. We can engage our teams in helping to figure out what the right version of hybrid will be for us, what the right future workplace looks like for us. Let me close with today's tweet. Like new hybrids of roses or popcorn, a hybrid working situation should create a better option than what existed previously. The future of work should be on our mind. The future of work should be in our thoughts. And that means we need tools, tips, resources, techniques, and tactics. And that's why we create the Future of Work newsletter every week. We hope that you will join us for free. Subscribe now. All the information is right here. We hope you'll do that. And I hope you'll be back here next week for another episode of the Remarkable Leadership Podcast and Remarkable TV.